Hey everybody, I got a package in the mail today and I can't wait to open it up with you and let's see what's inside. I'm so excited about this one. I changed out the blade on my knife. So hopefully, oh, smooth like butter. Oh wow. Didn't realize, sometimes you don't realize how gnarly and worn out your old blade is until you replace it with a new one. Man. Anyway, this package came from Dark Regions Press. And if you're not familiar with Dark Regions, they are a publishing company, but predominantly a reseller of books published by other publishers. And sometimes they have some really great deals. Sometimes they have some really kind of sketchy deals, like selling you the next 25 Stephen King books at one time for like $2,500. That's an exaggeration, but something like that where you go, you know, God forbid, knock wood, forgive me for even saying it, but is the man even going to be around long enough to fulfill the terms of this deal? But so anyway, they have some sketchy ones. They also have some good ones. They sometimes get a bad rap in terms of their business model and their customer service. I've never had any troubles. I've always had positive experiences. So anyway, this book is old news now in terms of other people having already received it, but it's new to me. So that's all I really care about today. So Dark Regions, like any reputable seller, doesn't skimp on the packing material and make sure everything comes through safe and sound, which I appreciate as I hold on to the packing material for when I sell books myself. Man, that knife just melts through this bubble wrap. So much bubble wrap. Oh, very nice. And then the final touch, one more layer of bubble wrap that wraps in the opposite direction. Very cool. A Dark Regions bookmark. Nice touch. And the original book still wrapped in paper and still with the publisher's stickers attached. That's nice. So this book comes from SST, which I believe stands for Short Scary Tales. It's a publishing company out of the UK. And I often order UK stuff through US sellers so that I can get a better deal on shipping, although it does sometimes take a little bit longer. And this is a book out of a series, and so far I have been able to snag the entire series. I could have ordered it in the beginning as a package deal and gotten one book free, but I opted not to do that. Sometimes I regret it, but as each book has been released, I have been able to track them down via Dark Regions, Subterranean, companies like that in the United States. So far, so good. Grady Hendrix's We Sold Our Souls. Grady Hendrix is fast becoming my favorite new author, or younger author, young-ish author, and I'm really excited about it because I've only read a couple of his books, and I have other ones to look forward to. One of the saddest things about being a fan of an author, and when you finish, you're all up to date. You've read everything they've put out, and that can be very depressing. But it's exciting when you find someone new to you, and you have some other titles to catch up on. So, for instance, We Sold Our Souls. That is one I have not read, and I will not be reading this copy, as it is a collectible copy, and I like to keep it nice. Although I wouldn't feel too weird about reading this one. The nice thing about SST is that their books are high quality but low in price, and they're also for people who are concerned about exclusivity. Their limitations are pretty low as well. Normally 400 copies or so worldwide. I'm not exactly sure. We'll check on the limitation page on this one, but the prices are 50, 60 bucks, which in the signed limited publishing world is pretty dang affordable. They're a little bit no frills sometimes, but they're still nice. So this is a wraparound dust jacket with a nice smooth kind of velvety coating over it. Take off the jacket so you can see. Very, very cool. Oh man. And this matches, it goes along well with the other books in the series. That is just a pure, it's so smooth and kind of lightweight cloth covering with this embossed printing. Really badass. Grady Hendrix, We Sold Our Souls. Kind of looks like it was carved into somebody's flesh, which I've not read the book yet, but now that I've just said that out loud, I can totally imagine that's something that happens in this book. Black end papers. And this series so far, the Grady Hendrix books that SST has released, have been really cool and creative with the limitation pages. So this has a couple of backstage passes. One is signed by, or a couple of crew passes. One is signed by Grady Hendrix, and one is signed by artist Reiko Murakami, I believe, again for this one. But special signed limited edition is limited to 400 numbered copies. And this is copy 396. So in the entire world, in the billions and billions of people in the world, there are 400 copies of this book. And this is copy number 396. That's pretty badass. Pretty cool. Yeah, the artist is Reiko Murakami. So SST announced a few years ago that they were going to do a series of 4 Grady Hendrix titles with illustrations by Reiko Murakami. And this is book 3 of that series. They've also, in the interim, released the Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix, which had art by Francois Vaillancourt. So that's a little bit, it's different, it's outside of the series, but everything they release is really cool, regardless of who does the artwork. I'm gonna try to find an example of, here's some of the interior artwork, printed on nice glossy paper stock and tipped in. Very cool. Let me try to find, excuse me. It's another illustration example, again, tipped in. So while these books are, the SST books are inexpensive, it doesn't come across in a lack of quality. This isn't letterpress or anything extra fancy, but it is, you know, nice quality paper, nice quality printing. The artwork is tipped in on glossy sheets. And it's not printed in color, which probably saved a few bucks. It's printed in black and white, but it still looks pretty neat. I've seen plenty of books that cost 3 times this much that the artwork was still printed in black and white. So, and there are separate darker stock of paper throughout for content that I'm unaware of because I've yet to read the book. But about the author, about the artist, back end papers, and there you go. Another really, really fun release from SST Publications in the UK in their Grady Hendrix series. Grady Hendrix first came to my attention as the author of the absolutely intense and enjoyable and indispensable reference volume. I have very few nonfiction horror-related books in my collection, but Grady Hendrix's Paperbacks from Hell has pride of place. It is an indispensable, hilarious trip down memory lane. A lot of memories that some people, I think, have suppressed over the years, but Grady Hendrix brings them out to light. And because that book has been so popular, Valancourt Books has actually begun releasing acquiring the rights and releasing replica mass market paperback editions of some of these titles under the moniker Paperbacks from Hell. And Centipede Press has been releasing not all of them, but has been doing hardcover limited edition releases of some of these books with introductions by Grady Hendrix. So he's not only an author, an enjoyable author who writes some really interesting and quirky and groundbreaking and very modern seeming horror that includes a lot of social satire that can turn dark in really fast and get pretty creepy. Not only is he a great author to watch, he's also sort of like a historian of horror itself, and doing kind of like what Questlove does with hip-hop, classic hip-hop from the 70s and 80s, and Grady Hendrix is a trash historian of horror fiction and doing his part to keep it alive, which I really, really appreciate. It's a class act. But anyway, SST, We Sold Our Souls. Really, really cool book if you're in the market and are looking to pick one up. I highly recommend it.